You're standing at a highway on-ramp with nothing in your pockets but a backpack, a notebook, and a phone with 3% battery. No credit cards. No emergency fund. Not even a dollar bill. Most people would call this insanity. You're about to call it Tuesday. The experiment started 3 weeks ago in Portland, Oregon. The rule was simple. Cross to the East Coast using only bartering, odd jobs, and the kindness of strangers. No money. Not even borrowed money. The kind of travel that sounds like an Instagram fantasy until you're actually hungry and every restaurant requires something you don't have. But here's what nobody tells you about traveling with zero cash. It doesn't make you freer. It makes you invisible. By day 2, you realize money isn't just a tool. It's a permission slip. Without it, you're not a traveler. You're a vagrant. The difference matters more than you'd expect. A motel clerk won't negotiate with you. A gas station attendant won't accept your story as payment. But a person, a real person, eating lunch at a diner, might. And that's when the real economy starts. The one that existed before currency was invented. Your first real break came in a small town outside Salem. You walked into a bookstore and started shelving books. 8 hours of work. The owner, a woman named Patricia, who'd been running the place for 23 years, offered you a place to sleep in the back room and a meal. No payment discussed. You asked her why. She said something you'd hear 50 times over the next 3 weeks. I was young once too. That phrase became a motif. A password. You started repeating it in your head, testing it on strangers. Does everyone recognize themselves in their younger self? Does guilt ever expire? But here's where it gets complicated. By day 6, you're not just traveling anymore. You're performing. Every interaction becomes transactional in a different way. You're selling your story now. Your youth. Your vulnerability. You smile a little harder at the diner waitress who offers to comp your meal. You make eye contact longer with the truck driver who offers a ride across Oregon. You're bartering something more valuable than money. You're bartering the emotional labor of being likable, of being non-threatening, of being the kind of person someone wants to help. A sociology professor in Eugene asked if you could help paint her garage. 3 days of work. She fed you, gave you a tent to sleep in. But when you left, she didn't ask about your journey. She asked you to take a photo with her to post on Facebook. People love this stuff, she said. You understood then. You weren't a traveler. You were content. Your journey had become her performance, and you'd agreed to it by accepting her help. The real mechanics of no-money travel are these. You need a skill or youth, preferably both. You need to look trustworthy, which means privilege plays a role whether you admit it or not. You need to be willing to ask. That last part breaks most people. Pride is expensive. You can't afford it. So you swallow it, over and over, until asking for things feels like breathing. By week 2, you'd made it to Chicago. A coffee shop owner gave you work doing social media, 4 hours a day, no pay, but unlimited coffee and food. You were good at it. Better than her actual job description required. She hired you officially on day 5, minimum wage, 4 days a week. You'd accidentally found employment. The experiment was dissolving, so you left. This is where the narrative breaks. Most travel vloggers end the story here, with triumph. They made it across America with nothing. They were resourceful. They proved that capitalism was optional. But you're realizing something uglier. Every single person who helped you had excess. Patricia had a bookstore making profit. The truck driver was running a business. The professor owned a house. The coffee shop owner could afford to hire you. You weren't traveling outside capitalism. You were traveling inside the margins it created. And those margins only exist because most people are locked out of them. The harder truth, you started using your appearance as currency without naming it as such. You wore the same clothes, strategically vintage, strategically humble. You grew a beard because it made you look less like a threat and more like a character. You cried once in front of a woman in Tennessee who was deciding whether to let you stay at her place. And it worked. She let you. Later, you felt sick about it. You'd weaponized your own vulnerability. Is that still authentic travel? Or is it just performance with better margins? By day 19, you'd reached North Carolina, and something shifted. A man named Marcus, probably 60, offered you work cleaning his restaurant kitchen. No small talk, no life story exchange, just work. And at the end, actual cash. $50. You'd broken your rule for the first time. Accepted money. But Marcus had broken character too. He didn't want your story. Didn't ask about your journey. Treated you like a worker, not a curiosity. It felt like betrayal and relief simultaneously. The final week, you stopped bartering stories and started just working. You picked up odd jobs through Facebook groups and Craigslist. Yard work, moving help, writing someone's website copy. Nothing glamorous, nothing documentable. You were invisible again, but in a different way. You were just another person exchanging labor for survival. The magic was gone. So was the exploitation. You made it to the coast in Charleston on day 22. Total cash earned, $340. You'd spent it on a bus ticket because the last 200 miles couldn't be hitchhiked, not on time. You'd failed the experiment by its own rules. But you'd also succeeded at something else entirely. Here's what you learned that Instagram travel content won't tell you. Traveling without money isn't possible. You can only travel without your own money. Someone else's money, earned or inherited, funds every free meal, every safe place to sleep. Every person who helps you is making a choice to subsidize your journey. That's not freedom. That's a gift. And gifts come with invisible prices, usually paid in the form of your dignity, your autonomy, or your time. The poorest travelers in the world aren't the ones with no cash. They're the ones who run out of people willing to help. The motif returns here. I was young once too. That's not kindness. That's debt. It means the person helping you expects you to be the same person for someone else when you're old. It's a pyramid scheme of compassion. And you're inside it now, whether you want to be or not. So can you travel without any money? Yes. But only if you're willing to let people use you as a story. Only if you're comfortable being a currency yourself. To get even more free tips, click the link in the description below this video now.